what happens is we are taught a lot of the time to ignore our emotions. To be a good citizen, we ignore the anger. To be a man, we ignore the sadness, we don't talk about our feelings enough. And it's undoing that programming, isn't it, essentially? And we do that by taking the risk, a small risk, and doing that thing that makes us nervous or fearful. And this is in any area of where you might be stuck. It's not just about being vulnerable, but let's have a look. Visualization. Okay, so vision boards, having a direction. Often we've lost our sparkle because we're stuck on a journey and we don't really know where we're going with it. At some let's have a look what else I've got. Stillness, journaling, or even crying.
Crying is very beneficial. I keep saying this. It's actually really healthy. It releases endorphins, but it releases toxic energy, because trauma is effectively toxicity that we bottle up and keep in our bodies. But crying, and you don't even actually, it doesn't even have to be toxic energy. You can cry when you're happy. I cry at everything. If I need a good purge, I'm going to watch a Disney movie because I need to cry. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I like the whole way through, like the happies and the sads. I'm just going, oh my God, it's so emotional. You know what I mean? But this is a really good way to just release our heaviness in your body, whether it's good crying or bad crying. Not bad crying, sad crying or not crying.
Yeah, because it's not good and bad. Because what happens is we are taught a lot of the time to ignore our emotions. To be a good citizen, we ignore the anger. To be a man, we ignore the sadness. We don't talk about our feelings enough, and what happens is it just gets stored inside us, doesn't it?
It's gonna erupt. It really is, and it erupts in unhealthy ways, like anger and frustration. It can result in addictions like gambling or alcoholism, and can be that you're distracting yourself by overworking or spending time with people all the time instead of spending time on your own. These are all unhealthy ways that we distract from expressing ourselves. And expressing yourself is true authenticity. But it actually, people think it's weak to be vulnerable. It takes so much power to be vulnerable, to open up, to express ourselves. It really, really does. Like, you're actually stronger for it. You're stronger for asking for it.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, the more you do it, the less uncomfortable it becomes, Yeah. It's undoing that programming, isn't it, essentially? And we do that by taking the risk, a small risk, and doing that thing that makes us nervous or fearful. And this is in any area of where you might be stuck. It's not just about being vulnerable, but vulnerability is an example where you speak your truth and nothing bad happens.
Yeah.
But until you do it, you don't have the experience. So you can't have positive experiences without doing the thing. And so to overwrite what your belief is about something, or often your past experiences that have colored certain behaviors in a bad light, like you push that into your shadow. I don't do that. Until you take that, have that bit of courage, and you can start really small, can't you? It's like, you don't have to go to, I don't know, pour your heart out to some stranger. It can be just using your voice a bit more, being more honest about how you're feeling,
even with yourself, because oftentimes it's not even about expressing how you feel to other people. It's about admitting how you feel to yourself. That's another thing. Like, when we actually sometimes deny our feelings and deny how we're feeling to ourselves, and it's just acknowledging, hey, I'm not okay today, and it's okay to feel that. It's okay. It just takes strength to even admit to yourself what you're going through.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 'cause sometimes it's like, oh, I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't bother me.
I'm fine.
Yeah, and you just, when has the word fine, unless it's you know, about the weather. Has fine ever meant
Fine,
that it's okay?
exactly.
Yeah. I don't know why surely we should change the meaning in the dictionary, because fine does not mean
Yeah.
fine.
Fine means I'm really emotional, so ask me again.
Yeah. Let's see what else I've got. Setting some time for you daily. So having it can just be 10 minutes a day, something that lights you up, or to do that introspection, or to do some self-care. But ring fence some protected time that is for you, and choose the time wisely when it's going to be, and don't let anything get in the way of it, because you deserve at least 10 minutes a day, at least 10 minutes a day, for you, for what you want, for what lights you up. Let's have a look. Visualization. Okay, so vision boards, having a direction. Often we've lost our sparkle because we're stuck on a journey and we don't really know where we're going with it. At some point we got chose a journey. And it's like I was saying, before I did the mindset stuff and meditation and things, and I kind of lost my way, and I was going through the motions, and I was waiting for something, retirement, or I don't know what, the kids growing up, I don't know what I was waiting for, but I felt like I was waiting for something, but I didn't know what it was. So having a clear vision for the future of what it is you want, and dream big, the bigger the better. Having vision boards, using guided meditations or imagery, so you can get meditations that guide you through visualization, is really a really good way. And celebrating your wins. I think sometimes we get stuck in the cycle of, and on to the next thing, and on to the next thing, and we don't pause to see how far we've come, or recognize things that, I think sometimes particularly when you're in a growth journey, things that would have been worthy of a reward, wow, I can't believe I did that, suddenly become commonplace. You're doing them all the time, but you don't stop to think, wow, I do this now.
Yeah, we've been so stuck for so long that we think the end goal is going to be the where we have to be. So even if we're taking those baby steps, because we have to break things down into baby steps because it's overwhelming. We take those baby steps and we're like, okay, next one, and we're rushing, and then we're going into burnout, overdrive, and it's just like, no. And then you're like giving out yourself because you should have been over here, weeks ago.
Yeah.
And this is another thing, like, I was setting this timeline for myself, these deadlines, and I wasn't hitting my target. And I was punishing myself without actually realizing how far I'd actually come, and the fact that I still wasn't ready. So then I kind of just removed the timing and just started to reward every step, because every step is a win.
Yeah.
And like, instead of saying you're not late, you're exactly where you need to be. Like, look back. Like, I have to do this in my first year anyway. How far I got in 2 months, in 4 months, in 6 months. And I'm like, you were in the deepest depths of your healing while following your purpose path. That takes courage. That deserves reward. And it's only when I actually did start to measure my wins that I actually started to propel forward even quicker, because I was able to say, yes, I am progressing. Whereas if you keep trying to look forward, you don't realize how far you've come, so therefore you think that you're failing in a way. So just remember that the tiniest step forward deserves praise.
Absolutely. Yeah. We need to be, and it can just be a well done me, it can be a tick on a sheet, it can be a nice bubble bath, whatever marks the occasion that feels like a reward to you. Maybe not sweets or something that's bad for your health, but every now and then that's okay, I guess. What else have I got on here? Oh, I was gonna say, you were talking about, oh no, actually I'll say this first. Gratitude is a good one.
Oh yes, that's a big one. Really.
Because sometimes when we are when we're feeling like we're on a bit of a treadmill and we're going through the motions and we're not making time for ourselves and we're not celebrating our wins, and we can just see the list of things we should have done or have to do, and not recognize in the moment how abundant we are, you know, how much we've got already. Or looking at other people and seeing their progress or where they've got, or what car they've got, or what house they've got, and feeling like you should be further along on whatever journey and not being there. So gratitude is a real great way to ground yourself in the present and feel well, gratitude is like the opposite of stress, really. Stress is like about anxiety, isn't it? It's like, I'm not safe, I've got all these things to do, I'm missing something. Whereas gratitude is like the opposite of that. It's like, wow, this is so
However,
amazing.
that's the thing, is we appreciate when we lose a lot of things, or lose a lot of people, or lose a lot, whatever it is, we can feel, why me? Why don't I have this? I need this, or I need this. But take a minute just to look around you. You might have lost a lot, but look at what you still have. For me, it's my home, my fur babies, my health, my car, being out in nature. You know, for you, it's your kids, your home, etc. All of these things. These are the things that make us rich. So if you had nothing in the morning, but you had your fur babies, wouldn't you still be rich? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The roof over your head, the food in the press, you're still rich. So starting to feel gratitude for what you already have sends out an energy as well to bring in more to be grateful for. But if we're ungrateful, we're sending out an energy of lack, so therefore we're not going to receive. But the more grateful you are for what you already have, the more you're going to receive to be grateful for in the future as well.
Yeah, and it's having a look at multiple areas of your life to be grateful for. So it could be being grateful for what you have in your personal life, or it could be having your needs, your basic needs met. It could be grateful for the love that you have in your life. It could be grateful for things that you've got at work that is positive. And it could be things that you're grateful about yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, being grateful for who you are. What qualities are you grateful that you have? What strengths have you got that you're grateful for? Because guaranteed, whatever your strengths are, there will be someone out there wishing that they had the strength that you have in that area. You know, often we just see our weaknesses. We see where we're not quite good enough. And to be fair, we can pretty much learn anything. So it's just recognizing that you want to be better at that and making a commitment to yourself. But strengths, everybody has strengths, have so many strengths and qualities that you can be grateful that you have, you know. So showing gratitude not only for the things you have, but for yourself, you know, it's a great way to connect with you yourself. Yeah. And now the other thing I was going to mention is we're talking about purpose path. So I was wondering, if you say somebody is feels like they're not fulfilling their purpose in life, because that's another one, you know, if you don't feel like you're making an impact, if you don't feel that you matter, like the things that you do does not matter, and if I would say, if you're in the teaching profession, then you're obviously making an impact, absolutely. But sometimes we want to make a bigger impact. Sometimes we want to change the world in a different way, but we don't know what it is. So how could we connect? What advice would you give for?
For me personally, I lost, as I said, all ambition, all will to live, really, and I just didn't have a direction. And discovering, watching those speakers, especially Trent Shelton that night, I was like, I am passionate. Because what reminded me of it was, I had a friend, and he was still drinking around today actually, But I would be on the phone for an hour. And even at my darkest times, I would be sweating on the phone with him, talking for an hour, speaking about narcissistic abuse, speaking about everything that I was going through and the healing from it, the spiritual journey, all of it. Just literally, and I'm sweating now even talking about it. You know what I mean? And that's to me, I was like, when I looked at these speakers, I was like, that's where my passion is. Oh my God, I am passionate about something. So just figure out what gets you really going, what really sets a fire under your arse, like what sets your soul on fire, just what really lights you up. Because no matter what it is, even if it's just a hobby, if it really fills you with that energy and that joy, and my hands are sweating here when talking about it, you know what I mean? Like that's what you should do. You know, we think we have to do this 9-to-5 job, this, that, but you can change anything you want into a career. So if it sets you alight, if it brings that fire into your soul, go after that. There's a quote, your heart knows the way, run in that direction. So if you feel it deep in your core, just go after that, because and when you discover that that's what it is, the universe literally carries you forward. Where you think, oh, this is impossible, this can't happen, the universe will open doors once you set the intention. And the universe will literally take 10 steps if you take one. So it becomes hard work, but effortless. So just go after that. Ask yourself, what is it that I love? What is it that brings me joy? What is it that makes me fucking sweat when I talk about it?
I think also, as adults and parents and, you know, in jobs that can be quite consuming, I think teaching is one of those. It's not the only job that can consume you, because there's, you know, that you give so much of yourself. I think we can, and parenting certainly does, we need to remember that we're still deserving, you know, we're still deserving of joy, we're still deserving of passion. And for some people, actually playing games with their children might be where their passion is. You know, not everybody's passion path, you know, path that is going to be, you know, changing the world in a massive way. And in actual fact, you know, in parenting your child, you might be changing the world in who they become.
Exactly, yeah. Like your purpose in life might not be actually a career, but it could be being a parent.
Yeah.
But it could be also using what you've learned as a parent to help the next person.
Yeah. Or it could be some connection that you have with somebody that makes a big difference to them, you know, or you just never underestimate the power of your influence, you know, and that you might not be somebody, for example, who wants to stand on stage and give speeches or, you know, make something I can't say the word innovative. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
You know, and pioneer in some area that maybe that's not what your passion is. But
maybe it is, and you don't know it is.
Yeah.
Because when I first watched that, I was like, Jesus, could I really go on videos? No. Could I really do this? No. And look at me now, like, you know, like, one day I do want to be a motivational speaker in arenas and stuff, like, you know what I mean? Whereas before I was like, no, Jesus,
yeah, well,
no, you couldn't do that.
That's definitely the thing, because I was like, I'd quite like to do a TED talk. You know, I don't think I'm quite there yet. I need to get rid of all the erming for starters. I'm not quite sure how to get rid of that, but back when I was young, it used to be swearing instead of erming, so that's what I replaced. My filler word was a swear word back when I was a teenager, so now I just all the time. So, or say so, and yeah, but I. Certainly, like 2 years ago, I'd be like, I didn't even like doing staff meetings. I wouldn't want to be. I'm okay in front of the kids, but when there was adults there, it's, you know, with that social anxiety, it's not on your to-do list, is it really?
But look at you now, in fairness. You went from all of that social anxiety to standing here or sitting here live, speaking to the world. You know what I mean? So, like, this is it. Like, you might not think that you want to shine or do this, and you don't have to. But how do you really know? Because I didn't think this was possible. You didn't think this was possible. But when we start to do that work and that introspection, we end up discovering things that we never even thought would ever be something we'd be passionate about.
Yeah.
You know, we can find passions that were buried really deep because they're underneath the insecurities, that fear of being seen.
Yeah, very much a fear of being seen that I had. Yeah. So that's what I was going to say. It's also having an openness to possibilities, isn't it? Because one of the reasons that you might have lost your sparkle is because you've dimmed it yourself by your subconscious beliefs about what you're capable of doing. And so 2 years ago, I would definitely not be capable of doing this, you know? So it's having an openness, and I would highly recommend meditation. If you feel lost, meditation gives you such clarity, you know. You don't have to sit. I mean, you can sit there and ask for the answer, you know. But sometimes you get the answers to questions you weren't even asking, you know. You hadn't even thought to ask.
Yeah. This is it. I love meditation. Actually, meditation for me is the biggest cure. It cured my anxiety and depression. It has helped me heal issues around my mother and my dad, I suppose, as well. But my fear of becoming a mother in the future, I never wanted kids. Now I do. It helped me give up alcohol. You know, it actually, the way I used to describe it is like meditation gave up alcohol for me. Because like I at one stage I was like saying I want to drink, but I can't. You know what I mean? So it makes you, it helps you to do things, even though there's that ego part of your mind going, but I don't want to give up alcohol. But yeah, you do. No, I know it. Yeah, I do. And it's like the meditation kind of made me completely do it. So it did it for me. Mm-hmm. So yeah, meditation can heal stuff that you're not even aware that you're healing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the reason I got into meditation was because I'd had this panic attack. I've been worried about my heart for a long time, but not telling anybody. And then obviously it got to this point where I was in work having this episode and was taken to hospital. And then I had to wait for the test. So I was on a list. The NHS list was very long. So they're like, there was a problem on the ECG at work, but then when I got to the hospital, there wasn't a problem on the ECG. So they're like, well, we don't know. We could have passed. We need to do some tests. We think you're okay. You know, they asked me, have you got any history of anybody dying suddenly in their middle-aged of heart problems? And I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, well, you'll probably be okay then. I was like, great, thanks. They're like, are you menopausal? I'm like, no. Oh, well, it's very unlikely that a woman will have a heart attack until after menopause. I'm like, okay. I'm not sure I'm happy with those stats. You know, they put all this stuff in a computer and they were like, oh, you're coming up as a 4. And I'm like, what does that mean? It's like, well, you know, it's not impossible, but it's not that likely. You've got like a 15% chance. I'm like, 15% is still quite high. So anyway, I was still worried about my heart, and my sister at one point had to come and lay in the bed next to me because I was frightened of falling asleep because I thought I would die in the night. That's the situation I was in. That's how anxious and messed up I was. And I wasn't really worried so much about dying. I was worried about my children finding me dead and the damage that would do to them. So I took up meditation because I was like, I just need something to quiet my mind to be able to sleep, because it's not helping that I'm not sleeping very well. And my sister obviously has her own life. She can't spend every night sleeping next to me, you know. So that's how I got into it. And that's another thing that, you know, I've just stumbled upon and fallen down this rabbit hole and discovered the power of meditation. And actually, if you look into it, there's so much science that backs it up, you know. And I guess it's not, you don't go to the doctor and they say, oh, try meditation, because obviously the pharmaceutical companies will give you anti-anxiety medication. That's what they'll give you, because that's the way that it works, unfortunately. But you can change your life through meditation, absolutely. And if you find meditation hard, binaural beats meditations, you can get
the sleep times.
Yeah, it just makes it so much easier to get into that meditative state, and relax, and you feel so
But
refreshed
you can
afterwards.
hear how you sleep, like it's effortless. Press play, go to sleep, and there, you know, it actually works for you unconsciously.
Yeah, so if you're looking for answers, look in meditation for sure. And that is all I have. Is there anything you would like to add? It's oh
No,
goodness, it's 10 past 7. It's
okay,
another good one.
brilliant.
Right, so to finish, join Teacher Mindset Matters. It's our free Facebook group, and it's full of coaches from different aspects, different areas of life coaching and self-development. So we've got a nutritional coach in there, one that helps new mums. There's myself and Angela. There's stress and anxiety coaches in there, and all sorts. So we're there because we know what a great job teachers and school support staff do, and we want to protect your energy. We want to help you fill your cup. So we would love to have conversations with you there. You can speak to us anonymously. You don't have to, you can post anonymously, and we can help you with anything that you might want help with. And we put inspirational quotes in there and information videos that can support you on your growth journey. So even if you just want to watch from afar and not interact, then there's lots of things on there that can help you. So search Teacher Mindset Matters on Facebook. We're the only one.